Hey everyone, welcome back to another scrap mechanic tutorial. My name is Prof, and today, as you can see on our workbench here, we are working with controllers and sensors. A lot of cool things can be done with these, so let's get over to our demo room and check it out. Okay, so first things first, let's talk about controllers. Controllers are really cool. They allow us to use bearings and pistons in a really precise kind of way instead of just hooking them up to a switch. We can do a lot of cool things with them. Let's go ahead and get a bearing down. Let's get a piston down. We'll start with the bearing. Go ahead and add something to it so you guys can understand what's going on. There we go. Okay, so this is a controller. You can see there's quite a bit of things going on here. We are not upgraded all the way, which does limit us to how fast we can go and how many items we can hook it up. So let's go ahead and upgrade that. You can see that we get 10 slots to use and we have full range of speed now. All right, as you can see on this first slot, there is a line that divides these up here. There's a whole bunch of arrows here. So what's going on here is this first row here allows us to set the initial setting of the bearing. And you can see that it turned 90 degrees there just at the beginning. If we go backwards, you can see that it starts on a 90-degree backwards position. That's all this is the initial setting for once your build drops off the lift. This is exactly where this position will go. These items here are more of a increment. Each one of these will happen during a tick motion. So let's start out at 0. You can see it moves back. First setting, we want to go 90 degrees. Then we want to go, let's say we want to go back 90. So we'll kind of get a flip-flopping action going on here. All right, and we're going to need a switch. All right, so we got our switch. We're rotating 90. And we're going back 90. That is all that we set this controller to do. Now, if we come down here and hit this loop button, and we can speed this up so it's a little easier to see, it's going to go back and forth through that program. 90 one way, 90 back the other way. And we can add a couple more things in here to increase this, make this a little more interesting. And it will do all of these in that loop. All right, so very simple. All right, so next we have pistons, and remember you have to put something on a piston to get it to work. Get rid of this guy here. Piston's going to work the same way that a controller does. This first initial slot is going to be the actual distance that the piston is going to start at. Same as controller. Instead of degrees that we're working with, we're just working with a distance here. All right, so let's upgrade our piston level here. And you can see that we get our max speed here and we get max range added to it. That should translate to here. Yep, so there we go. We have max of 15 all the way on start. So we'll bring this back down. Let's bring it to 10. We'll bring it back down. We'll bring it to 5, and then we'll bring it back down. And we'll have it on a loop so you can see what's going on here. All the way up, all the way down, up 10, down. So very simple stuff, but it gives you a lot more control over your pistons versus just hooking them up to a switch. All right, so now let's move on to sensors. So for this, we're just going to replace our switch, and we're going to have a sensor this time. And a sensor is just like a switch or a button. You have the option in here for it to act as a switch or button, but you need to think more motion sensor with this. This will activate when something is in front of it. As you can see, it's acting as a button right now. Let's go ahead and just upgrade this. We get a little more range out of it. As you can see, as soon as we're in front of it, it's activating, and it's activating our sequence here on our controller. As soon as we step out of the way, it no longer works. All right, so another thing we can do is we upgrade all the way. We have this option here for color mode. And the colors here, we have 45 options for colors that we can use. So you can do all kinds of crazy stuff with this. So now that this is in, let's move this. Move it over. We're going to put this, we're going to upgrade it. We have color mode. Range isn't really going to matter right now. So let's go ahead and do kind of a wheel action here. Let's put a wheel here. All right, so now we have a wheel. So let's go ahead and do something different here. I'm going to connect this up to a light. So our light no longer works. We're going to take our controller. We're going to hook it up to our bearing. I want to put this on a constant 360 turn. So we're on a loop. All right. What color are we going to pick? Let's pick our green color here. We have green. Make sure we can see it. We have green. So as you can see, the light is already on. Now, if we were to, as we're talking about sensors, let's go ahead and use another sensor here. If that was connected to a controller and you were to walk in front of it or activate that controller, all right, and we want to have that on a 360 loop on the second slot, not the first slot. And you can see that every time the green goes in front of the sensor, it's activating it. Now let's slow this down a little bit. Maybe you can see what's going on a little bit better. And there you go. So that is the color sensor for sensors instead of using it as a motion sensor, which is really cool. I've seen a lot of really cool vehicles done with this that will follow tracks. There's other things you can do with this, spud cannons, things like that. Lots of cool little things with this little feature. Okay, so that is it for today. I hope you have learned something about controllers and sensors. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to this channel. It helps out a whole lot. And leave a comment down below on what you'd like to see more about this series. I'd like to do some more tutorials. So if you guys have any questions about things, let me know. I'll be happy to try to make a video about it and maybe get you making more awesome builds. Until then, we'll see you next time and have a good one.